So you're 65 then? No, 71. Getting used to it, and hit my 70. Yeah. After getting to go downhill after 80. My grandma used to say, after 80, anything can go. I don't know, Art's still doing pretty great. So, yeah, you can see how it's a lot of it.
I'd say that 70 is coming on.
Yeah, I married an older man, and he married a younger woman.
How long ago?
47.
That's pretty good. Planning 3 years from now. The presidency.
We just had a get on the phone with our kids who just like deciding about it, and some deciding stuff. And it was just very exciting, I think.
Is it just that he never kind of recognized it was out there?
Like, it's so much worse. Like, he's on Twitter and stuff.
I'm on Twitter, it's pretty ugly.
You know, there's all this discussion about, you know, what You know, there were, well, you know, there did some bad things, but there are some good things about it. You know, fair enough. Yeah, David said it's amazing how many people are sitting on Twitter trying to figure out what's good about them, but he was just deciding. And I
He's been very,
he's always been very aware.
very knowledgeable. But it's so upsetting when.
Sure, no, it's it.
Yeah.
So, but I think that this in some ways is a more realistic reflection of where people are in their own heads and in their own sort of private communities than maybe we recognize.
Well, it was interesting. I went to the Ann Arbor Police yesterday and dropped off the package of information about the concert we're having next Sunday for JPC. And the lieutenant who sat at the special services division wasn't there, but he sent me an email that he says, yeah, I've notified these division commanders and told the officers that we talked about it. And no questions involved, but it's a regret. I said, yes, we'll cover this. Because I think they're real.
I think it's.
You know,
We're.
yeah, your son said actually one time, I thought it was very interesting, because he grew up in this congregation, he said. There are kids who have grown up in this congregation who have seen those hateful signs their entire life. For them, going to synagogue, it's normal to have hateful signs about Jews every time they walk in. It's like, you know, it just really hit me. He said that.
Where does he live now?
He was kind of in flux since he's getting married. But he is in Phoenix, he's been in Phoenix, and his fiancée lives in Folsom outside of Sacramento.
Oh, right.
So, in a very different city. Very different. But, yeah, it's just, I mean, I talked in an hour, I thought, it's my birthday, I probably want. It's bad enough, but.
It's 6:02.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
It's raining out there now.
It wasn't when
Are we now, right?
No, it wasn't coming down.
Okay, that's what it needs to.
And I think,
Okay, but yeah, as long as we have three screens online, we create books that are, then we can create your more.
It's spread out. Is there anything you want to, is there anything you want to read?
No, but I almost texted you earlier and asked.
I'm
if I
sorry.
could- Oh, it's no.
I would have
reason,
said
I forgot.
yes.
Um,
It was only that one time. I mean, not only that one time. It depends on the night. Yeah.
but I looked at,
Yeah, just remind me.
I don't know, yeah, I know it's.
It's in here. You can.
But they coming. Yeah, it's not. There's some miscommunication right there.
Yeah, we normally require it. So, I mean, I think there was a miscommunication. Some people still don't know that we're back in person for Friday night.
Yeah.
Because I think that was it, because evening minion is still, they're like, isn't Friday evening minion? I'm like, no, it's, you know.
Yeah, it's tough to be in person.
Yep. Exactly. So I think that was part of what occurred. There we go. Shabbat Shalom. Let's do some davening, and I was going to say bring in Shabbat. I think Shabbat brought in us. considering how dark it is. I don't know about you getting up in the morning. I was very happy when the time changed because I'd rather it be light in the morning when I get up and then get dark earlier. I'm fine with that. But now it's already back to getting up in the darkness. So it happens unexpectedly. So now the Shabbat is now bringing in us rather than us bringing in Shabbat. But let's join the Shekhinah in hey, Shabbat Shalom. I was going to wait until Echad Odeh and you'd be coming in and be like, the presence of Hashem, the Shekhinah. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. We are going to do our short and sweet Friday night service, enjoy Shabbat together, and enjoy this time. Page 10. Yedi nefesh shav harachama mishoch abdach eretzonach yarutz abdach kimo ayal yishtachaveh mo hadara yerav lo yedidutach last verse. Higalena ufros havi alaya sukat shelama ha'ir ikvodam Nagila v'nismecha Yemaher hu giva moed v'chaneni ki me'olam yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 da. So you have just sung the mystical poem that says to you, as you already well know, that during the week we may be like a workhorse, or in those days an oxen, a beast of burden. But we just sang that for Shabbat we're going to be like a deer or a gazelle or a mountain goat. We're completely free of burden, and we're just free and naturally connected to nature. And so on page 11, we put down our burdens for L'chun Ranana. We say, as if we were entering the holy city in the Middle Ages and saying this poem. At the entrance, we put down our baggage because you can't carry from one domain into another on Shabbat. Whatever burdens you're carrying from the week, they could be financial, they could be emotional, the concerns about yourself or someone else, or just chores you didn't get to, or messages you didn't reply to, food you didn't buy. So whatever it is that was your burden during the week, consciously put it down and give yourself a chance to be like a free animal, wild animal, beautiful deer, just connected to nature automatically with no job to do. Vadonai Naria Litzor Yishenu Nekad Mafanav Bitoda Bizmirot Narialo. We daven silently or readings until the bottom of page 12. As we get to the bottom of page 12, before we sing Arba'im Shana, we remind ourselves of what it means, which is you would think that if you told people you could have Shabbat and you could be free and you could just be automatically connected to the beauty of everything around you and feel good, you would think everyone would say, I can't wait But the Israelites did not say that in the Bible. Even with people who were enslaved, were told that you can finally be free one day a week, still sort of stubbornly found a way not to observe it, as and it's still true today. And so the psalm comes in at the end to say, don't be like that generation in the desert that had a chance to just experience God's presence. It was a gift, and they turned it down through complaining or feeling, no, I don't want such a burden to have to keep Shabbat. I want to keep doing my chores or keep finding things wrong with the world that need to be fixed. Let's sing God's words, which is, don't have the spirit of rebelliousness against it. Just accept Shabbat as a gift, and you will experience gratitude. Arba'im Shana Akut Bedor Ba'omar Amto Elevavim Vehem Lo Yadu Derachai. We're going to keep going. Asher Nishpati V'Api Im Yavon El Menuchati. Page 13. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Baruch Shemo Pasru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo Bechol Ha'amim Niflota Ki Gadol Adonai Hulam Me'od Norahu Al Kol Elohim. This is where I say for the next 5 or 6 pages, Mark is going to read every word on behalf of all of us, right? And anyone who wants to continue reading every word can do so with Mark, but since he's going to carry, I can't call it a burden now, I said there are no burdens. He's going to dance that dance happily. For those who want to go through a guided meditation and take us to Lachadodi, then you're welcome to close your eyes and listen to me instead. There's a new breath within us, the sound of the breathing around us, the heartbeat within me, the heartbeats of others. Is the sound every insect it makes, the rubbing together of legs, the shifting of the moisture within plants and vegetation. It's the sound of people on the street. It's the sounds beyond which we can hear. So every sound that's going on around us, they combine in a symphony, and God hears that symphony, and we strive to hear it as well. When we listen to the music around us, we become better listeners. Then we become better at singing the Shema, better at singing, listen, listen, listen. We truly feel the presence of the one God that unifies all. So let us hear the new song as God hears it. Let us, as Rabbi Nachman say, hear the grass, even the grass singing. There's a happiness in the song of the earth. There within the song of the sea. There is an exaltation. The exaltation when we feel our very, very lightest, our least egoful, or least egocentric. We can join in that exaltation. It is so close. It is not far. It is not difficult. And so let us be glad as the earth is glad. Distant lands are rejoicing. Let us join in the lands of rejoicing of all the different species. But clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. We know there's injustice all around us, and we're right to try to solve it for most of the time, but never let that make us feel that behind the clouds, behind the darkness is not truly light, is not truly a presence of harmony, goodness, and hope, of the arc of society and of the world bending in the right direction. And so let us be like our ancestors who saw through the darkness to the light beyond, to feel the harmony within natural creation and to the goodness that all of us are being invited to in every moment. And then we will sing a song, a new song. We know how to join in with the song. It's not hard. It's not something we have to learn. It's natural and within us. It's a song of connection. It's a song of joy. We get out the lyre, the guitar, our voice, horns, shofar cries, whatever orchestras, whatever instrument you chose for the orchestra, you can use it. And it's very, very welcome. And you are heard as just part of exaltation and happiness, part of part of the party that's happening around us, that's leading us in the right direction. You're joining with the cherubim, with the cheruvim, their invisible dimensions joining in with the song, and you're right there with them. And that's what is intended for all of us. That's the invitation. And that takes us to the fact that sometimes that song is pretty loud. It's like a great thunderstorm on page 21. And we think that, wait, I thought the song was good. And the rabbi said it was full of happiness, and so did the psalmist. But this is feeling pretty challenging. But we have to remember that song is the same song. Even the strong storm song is a song that has goodness following it and behind it. And that takes us to page 22. So if you've been in the meditation, you're ready for a little bit of a Sephardic plea of Ana B'Choach, and then a welcoming of, not a welcoming, but a joining with the Spirit all around us, and to try to hold on to that Spirit through Shabbat. So page 22. Ana B'Choach, Gedula Yemincha, Tatir Sururha. Kaberina amcha sagbeinu, tarenu nora, nagibor dorshe yichudcha, kevava shomrim, barchem tehorim, rachamim tzidchacha, tamid gomlim, chasin kadosh, berov tucha, nahel adatecha, yachid ge'el la'amcha p'nei, zochre kedushatecha, Shavatenu kabel, ushma tzakatenu yodea ta'alumoho. The Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'el. Page 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat Kala pene Shabbat nekabela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ki hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha merosh, mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, Mikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzei mitoch hafecha, Rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, v'hu yachamol alayichem la, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, hitnari me'afar kumi, livshi bigdei tifartechami, ayad ben yishai, beit halachmi, Korva el nafshiga Allah lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela hitoreri hiva ore kumi uri shir daveri kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat Kala pene Shabbat nekabela, lo tevoshi v'lo tikami, ma tishtochachi u'ma tehemi, bach yechesu aniyei ami, v'nihivneta ir'atila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, v'hayu limshisa shohosayich, v'rahapuko mivalayich, yasis alayich Elohayich, ki himsos chatan akala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, yamin usma'o, Tifrotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yad ish ben partzi v'nismecha v'nagila lecha dodi likrat. Well, please rise and let's welcome, combine with Shabbat. Bohi v'shalom aterepala gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala tochem muneh am skula bohi chala lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabelha. Shabbat shalom. We may be seated. So anyone who ever says, the rabbi never does all the verses. I do sometimes. I just try to keep people guessing. Sometimes I do. I got to thank you guys. You guys really kept up. I mean, if you've ever been a service leader, everyone's always like, why don't we go faster? It's hard because when you're leading and you're like, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, there's someone going still on atah. Right. So everyone, the whole congregation is Baruch. So you need people to move along. So you guys were peppy. Metronomes. I'm there. And I will say that, you know how I was like pounding for Shiru Ladonai? The reason I don't do that more is the microphone. So the people online are like at home, and so those who are streaming on YouTube, they're like bang, bang, bang. So if it wasn't so much for that, I'd be yes, you can. So we'll try to do a little bit more. So okay, for that now I'll go through the upbeat version of page 27 rather than the one I usually do. Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon lehagid baboker chastecha v'emunatcha balelot alei asur ve'aleina ve'lalei higayon bechinor mizmor shir liyom hashabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon I miss a little bit the days of the Zoom Friday night from the rabbi's house, because when I had my kids next to me, I could be like, okay, guys, let's see how fast we can go. And so I had my girls like speeding things up, but you guys were excellent fill-ins for the rabbi's daughters. So thank you very much. I could challenge them. How fast can you do this one? We continue to the rest of the psalm, and you can go through it as we sing on page 28, where you see the triangle. Tzadikata hamar yifrach ke'erez balvanon yiske shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva Tishenim vera'ananim yihu lehagid ki ashar Adonai tzuri tzuri lo Adonai malakeu lavesh lavesh Adonai ozit. Erotechen emnu me'od levedcha nava kodesh Adonai le'orech yamin. On page 30, we have the first of our two mourners' Kaddishes. On this Shabbat, Beth Israel congregation remembers, among others, Joseph, the Yortzites of Joseph Adelson, Jack Adler, Esther Appelman, Marla Cardis-Barna, Edna Bender, Burton Blair, Herman Brown, Fred Brown, June Colton, Larry Daniels, Walter Daskin, Bernard Helmut Doctor, Rose Eisenberg, Linda Ehrlich, Ethel Fallett, Jack Fallett, Beatrice Feldman, Gloria Feinerman, Ronald Friedman, Sybil Gertz, Lillian Gordon, Gloria Greenfield, Mickey Hearn, Rose Jacobson Cohen, Joseph Kaufman, Ben Kessel, Lillian Kramer, Abraham Lansky, Sophie Lieber, Ellen Lillian Rice-Saper, Samuel Schiff, Sid Schwartz, Philip Seymour, Esther Chevron, Ileana Thal, Irving Tobes, Bess Weinblatt, Harry Zimmerman, and Susanna Elpinzisk. As we continue to say Kaddish, David Fallman, Bruce Thal, Carol Amster, Gary Joseph Ullman, Paul Ernest Phillips, Leslie Garber Matthews, Raisa Levinskaya, Alice Cohen, Toby Barban Rothaus, Vivian Perlstein, Marty Lindenauer, Bonnie Rosenberg, Harlene Appelman, Lionel Finkelstein, Sidel Popinski, David Stein, Harvey Katz, Martin Warshaw, Gidon Hofer, Lois Kluger, and now Beverly Bennett. And also, we're also saying Kaddish. For those who are reciting the Kaddish tonight, please rise and recite with me on page 30. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba, v'yalma divrak kirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayetecho beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei amaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei rukudesha brichu, Elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'ama v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. V'aseh shalom b'imromav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May their memories continue to bring blessings to this world. I'm going to ask you to have your book ready for the next prayer that we're going to do together, which will be on page 39A. But I'm going to share my teaching or poem. Today you get a teaching rather than a poem. But I'm going to read you something. I'm going to ask you to think about who wrote it. I bet a lot of you will guess quickly, but I'm hoping you don't. So this is what I recently taught to our Hebrew High class. So the rabbi cheated. Instead of doing something new, I grabbed something right off my desk that I've just recently taught. And let's see if there's no question, I'm going to be more successful with you than I was with them. Okay, ready? Music and physical science originate in different sources, but they are interrelated through their common aim, which is the desire to express the unknown. Their reactions are different, but their results are supplementary. And as to artistic and scientific creation, I hold with Schopenhauer that their strongest motive is the desire to leave behind the rawness and monotony of ordinary life, so as to take refuge in a world crowded with the images of creation. This world may consist of musical notes as well as of mathematical rules. We try to compose a comprehensive picture of the world in which we are at home, and which gives us the stability that cannot be found in our external life. And it continues. I see a pattern, but my imagination cannot picture the maker of that pattern. I see the clock, but I cannot envisage the clock maker. The human mind is unable to conceive of 4 dimensions. How can it, so if it can't conceive of 4 dimensions, how can it possibly conceive of God? A God for whom 1,000 years and 1,000 dimensions are as one. One more paragraph. Imagine a bedbug, completely flattened out, living on the surface of a globe. This bedbug may be gifted with analysis. Sorry, the writing is patronymic. I mean, it uses men. So I can't change the pronouns right now because I want to have to do him justice. But imagine a bedbug flattened out on the surface of the globe. This bedbug may be gifted with analysis. He may study physics. He may even write a book. But his universe will be 2-dimensional. He may even intellectually or mathematically conceive of a 3rd dimension, but he cannot visualize it. The human being is in the same position as the unfortunate bedbug, except that he is 3-dimensional. Man can imagine a 4th dimension mathematically, but he cannot see it. He cannot visualize it. He cannot represent it physically. It exists only mathematically for him. The mind cannot grasp it. Okay. This is practice for Illuminate Trivia Night. Okay. Who wrote it?
Einstein.
Albert Einstein. I said, right, what were we going to say? I know. the bed bug, it passed on Lyme disease, and then the person died. It was like, so what I did with the high school the high school students, and they really struggled with it. I'll be honest, and it was very sad to me. So I can't do it right now, but I took a pencil. So pretend my finger goes through it, and I did flatland. Flatland is, here's the surface of a this is 2 dimensions. Pretend it is infinitely thin. So length and width. And let's say you are the flattened bed bug. You are someone who lives in 2 dimensions. You live in flatland, and you go around, and I should have like a little circle. I'll use this. You are this little square in flatland. You have a little house that you can enter, like in Animal Crossing, and then I come back out, and you can go meet people. Maybe there's another one, and you bump into them, but they're completely flat. But what if this hand is up here? Do they have any idea of the existence of this hand? No, it's not there. Even if the hand is flat, they have no idea it exists because it is in 3 dimensions. What would happen, as happens tomorrow in the Parsha with Jacob's ladder, is if I stick a pencil, as I did there, I stick a pencil through the piece of paper. What does the Rav Nadav name tag see? Does it see a pencil? It sees a little circle. And imagine if like it sees that cross section of the pencil. It's like, where did that circle come from? As Jacob says tomorrow, whoa, I took magic mushrooms, or I had that was the sermon 2 years ago, or I did a dream, and I never realized that like there's this ladder going up, and there's creatures going up and down between our dimension and another. And then I wake up and I'm like, I think that was real, like, but people don't realize it. So they would see like, where did that suddenly come from? It appeared from nowhere. And then if the pencil is, let's say it has a thick end and a thin end, they're like, and it's magically getting thinner and thicker. This is the weirdest thing ever. And so the point being, and it goes on and on, that, you could go back and watch Carl Sagan's Cosmos and get a whole episode, is that, go ahead, Zoe. That's true. It would have a sense of long and wide, because those are the 2 dimensions. So like we have a sense of long, wide, and what's the other one? Tall, deep, and deep, right? So length, width, and depth. But we can mathematically construct a 4th dimension. But as he said, you can construct a mathematical formula for it, but we can't even imagine it. So some of the Kabbalists, some of the Jewish mystics, there's nothing new under the sun. So this was conceived even in the Middle Ages, where the rabbis, the Kabbalist rabbis, the leading rabbis of their time, said God's not a thing in the sky. But basically, our whole universe exists in multiple dimensions. Because they actually learned a lot of math from Arab philosophers. It was a wonderful time where the Jews and Christians were learning from Islamic Arabic philosophers who had studied Greek science. So they had an idea of math. And so they had the sense that we don't even realize how many dimensions we live in. And they had a sense also that the angels are sort of creature, whatever the word is. They didn't use the word creature. Are entities that travel, that exist in the other dimensions and sometimes intersect our own. But we don't even know what that means, because it's not like they look like me. They could be just forces or things we can't even really imagine. But it's a beautiful way of thinking that, again, getting away from the idea of like everything, God is just another thing that fits into our ordinary picture of the world, as Einstein says. Religion and music, really enlightenment. We're trying to figure out, can we live in a world that both is very familiar, but also recognize how deeply unfamiliar it should be for us? Because even now, when the latest superstring theory, which was invented by Jews at the Princeton Institute for Advanced Study, is that the universe probably exists in 10 dimensions. And when people always ask them to explain it, like, draw me a picture, what does that look like? They're like, I can't draw that for you. They just say the math seems to indicate it. And then their image for it is that we have that all subatomic particles are made up of something smaller, which are vibrating strings of energy. And depending on the harmonic at which they vibrate, that harmonic produces the subatomic particle that they become. So that at the heart of everything, we have 10-dimensional strings of energy, and depending on the music that they make, reality takes form. So much of what the stuff on the sides of the pages in your prayer book are talking about, and it's not accidental, because the rabbis have been contemplating this along with other great religions for thousands of years. The teens turn to me and they're like, yeah, anyway, I won't tell you what their reaction was. They're like, maybe someday we'll have some sense of what you just talked about. That was what they said. We're on page 39A. We're here with the connections into leaving, in a sense, nature, heading into the dimensions of light and darkness, and actually the frequencies of energy that make up the universe, and then we'll be soon enough at the Shema. Sorry. Yeah, oh my gosh, yay, we have physical minyan. Please rise, 39A. Baruch hu et Adonai hanevora. Baruch Adonai hanevora. We may be seated, continue silently in our prayers. Umavir yom umevi laila, madio ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. God of the galaxies is his name. El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chalenu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, hama'arihi v'aravim. Page 40. Ahavat olam be'Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadta. Akein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shachveinu v'kumenu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'orech yamenu, Yorech yameinu, uvahem nege, yomam v'layla, v'avatcha tasimenu l'olamim, Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einecha uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha v'hisharem. 42 into 43 silently. Those who are ready, we're on page 44. Mi chamocha be'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo tohosef el malchutecha ra'u vanecha, ukeyam lifnei Moshe ze'eli anu v'yameru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'em. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai Yaakov, Golem Gazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Zoe, can I pick on you to read page 45 in English, starting at Allow us Adonai? And keep going, do remove, why not? Exactly, keep going. So as you read, God, our sovereign, merciful, and compassionate, I mean, going back to the Einstein, like I'm not making this stuff up. This is like really, this is adult theology. This is like what adult rabbis actually thought. Not all of them, but some of them. When we say, God, you are sovereign and you are merciful, you're compassionate, is it like the sweetest grandfather forever in the sky? No, they actually felt that like the pencil going through the paper, the compassion, the mercy, these kinds of things, or healing, like healing within us. It's like forces that pass through us, like a pencil going through the paper. And so that we have like sometimes, love, compassion, they well up in us or they well up in another who expresses it to us. And so, it's not like we're saying, please be merciful to us. We're more like, please let mercy be channeled. Like channel more mercy into this world, channel more compassion. I want to feel more of it. I want to experience more of it. I want to be the recipient of it. So it's a way of connecting how they read these prayers to the theology that many of them believed. So we continue. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'akol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 46. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam britolam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti li'olam oti li'olam oti li'olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam britolam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat ledorotam britolam u'vayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash v'shamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam b'ritom. Maybe in today's prayer, have the prayer that you're supposed to be having for the silent Amidah, whether it's the liturgy from 47 on, whether it's the readings on the sides of the pages, or whether the prayer you're supposed to be having is closing your eyes and channeling something within you that is trying to pass through you. Recognize it, invite it, welcome it, and let it channel something good into the world. Please rise. Yitkada v'yikada shemei rabba v'yalma divrach yurtei v'yamlech malchutei b'chayechon uv'yom echon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman karib ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmera b'mevarav ve'alam ulam me'ol maya Yiparach v'ishtabach v'yipar v'traman v'naseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemeru kudeshah le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Hebrew 47 and 4, or whatever it is that you're channeling tonight. For those who are davening, please continue as the rest of us pick up with these symbolic repetition on page 53. We don't always do it according to my determination, but let's do some singing tonight. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvihi melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvihi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvihi vayekadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto kivo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim asher bara Elohim la'asod Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Konei Shamayim v'Aaretz, Magen Avot Bidvaro, Mechaye Meitim v'Mamaro, Ha'el Hakadosh she'ein kamohu, Hameniach le'amo, B'yom Shabbat kodsho. Kivam ratsa lehaniach lahem. Kivam ratsa lehaniach lahem. Lefanav na'avod b'yirav pachad. V'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid. Me'on habrachot. El ha'oda'ot adon ha'shalom mekadesh ha'shabbat u'mvarech shvi u'meniach b'kedusha ya'amedu shnei oneg zecher l'maaseh v'reishim. Mary, would you read for us? How you got your reading glasses on? Page 54, the top paragraph.
That the people of Israel who made your name holy may find rest and security. Baruch atah Adonai who makes Shabbat holy.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. And may the one who sanctifies Shabbat and may the one who has blessed our ancestors bless you, Mary. And may you be filled and channeled with all kinds of goodness and grace and joy and happiness. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, and many more. I think anyone who comes to synagogue on their birthday, I mean, God bless you. I mean, I'm with you on that, but I'm just saying, I do, but rabbinical school is ahead for you, Mary. Yikadav yikadash shemei rabba v'yamad yivra kirtei v'yamlich machutei b'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chaytecho beit Yisrael b'galav izman kari v'imedru yehi shmei rabba mevarach v'yalam ulam me'amaya yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitramah v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudusha Le'elam min kol berchata v'shurata tishbata v'nechemata damiram b'yama v'imedru titkabal tzloton v'aton d'chol Yisrael kodam avondi v'shmaya v'imedru yeshamarim b'mit shmaya v'chayim alen v'kol Yisrael v'imedru oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imedru Amen. Please rise. Aleinu 56. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol v'atei ilula v'ytzeh b'reshit shelo asanu k'gogei haratzot v'lo samanu mishpachot ha'adama shelo samtelkeinu kahem v'gorainu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהודות את שמם בצד הארץ אינו הודקים את הברכה כתוב תורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Mourner's Kaddish for those who are reciting on page 58. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah. Bi'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich machutei. V'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam lamel maya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei kudusha, brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata, shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Aseh shalom b'mromav, v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories continue to bring blessings to this world. Some brief announcements. One is Social Action is meeting at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday, this Sunday. That is the time of the committee meeting. And the Green Team meeting is moving their time to 2 p.m. this Sunday. And there's a new Zoom link for the meeting available on the Beth Israel website. Next Friday is our monthly Jewish renewal service on Friday night with Rabbi Ora. And so that is, I call it the Aura of Kabbalat Shabbat, and that is next December 9th. Remember that Illuminate is coming up on Sunday, the Rabbi in Residence weekend is December 16th to 18th. Please invite your friends. Reb Drew will do something at Friday night services. Then Saturday morning, in addition to the Devar Torah, Reb Drew will lead an optional Tai Chi Musaf for those who want to go with him. It won't be in the sanctuary. I'll lead Musaf in the sanctuary. And Reb Drew prepared. He said, just be prepared for everyone to go with me. No offense, right? I was like, as long as we have 10, I'll do Musaf. So Tai Chi, and then on Sunday morning, if you know any kids in the area, we'll have he'll lead a kid kirtan on Sunday morning, and then Sunday evening, Hanukkah party with all kinds of fun stuff from 5 to 6, a big menorah lighting, and then a concert of Reb Drew and Sunday, December 18th. Please invite your friends. It's free. I really think it's cool. Appropriation, something is not bad appropriation when people give credit and people praise it, and it's done with love. And as Muslim, Jewish, and Christian, as I was talking about earlier in Spain, they learned from each other. They would throw each other verses from poetry and from songs. And, I realized that when I was doing graduate seminars, I would read a verse in something and be like, this is Yehuda Halevi. And I'm like, no, man, this is Sufi, and they'd be like, well, I guess they were thrown, So learning from Indian chant, beautiful way to understand better our own liturgy through the methods of Indian chant, of kirtan. And so Reb Drew also said, kirtan's really big in the yoga circuit. So be prepared for people to bring their yoga mats. And I'm like, bring it on. But we will have Jewish mystical chant appropriating or using appropriating in a positive sense of learning from, incorporating, and giving credit to this beautiful way of davening. It's not just davening. It's a beautiful way of just exploring Jewish liturgy through the methods of kirtan. And so I wish you luck. In addition, yeah. And coming up soon, I will be presenting along with Christian and Muslim clergy at the Interfaith Roundtable. It's Zoom only, and it'll be open. It's certainly open to the public, and we'll be talking about the connections of our Abrahamic faiths. And so that brings us to a closing song. Thank you for your patience. What page?
Oh, we're on page 429. I'm going to end with my last words. You're still out there. And it's so dark, we need to bring some light. Yeah.
And if you haven't started buying gifts, think about what you're going to buy for people or get for people or make for people, channel for people on page 429. Wait, what was that? Yeah, no one I know has worn a size to in a long time. God bless you, Meg. Ma'otzor Yeshuati Lechana El Shabeha Tikon Beit Filati Visham Toda Nizabeha Tachin Matbeach Mitzar Hamna Beach Azigmor Beshir Mizmor Hanukkah Tamizbeach Azigmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach. Shabbat Shalom. Thanks for joining us tonight, virtually and in person. Onward. No, I'm just
Hello.
I'll save these for tomorrow.
Okay,
Oh, I know.
You were good at teaching us that a few years ago, like before the pandemic, and I vividly remember it, 'cause it was the first time I ever learned it at some specific honest. That like the other courses are not about love. I feel like I celebrated. And it literally blew my mind, because that is.
Oh, right.
Which one?
Rock of Ages.
It's not about chronographers?
Right.
I think the second verse
The
is.
second verse is, but the verses
subsequent
after
ones,
that
yeah.
are not specifically how they're related, and that rocked my world. And I-
That's why it's called Rock of Ages.
Literally ever.
That is so cool. You know, one of these days we'll do all the original verses to Atikva.
Yeah, it goes on.
Hey, you know, that could be all of Yom HaZikaron. That would take the whole time.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
That's not easy. That's not.
No, actually, I could music and science.
Yeah, I mean,
It's always, that's the same thing,
That he's written about music.
people forget that.
Well, I'm quite a student.
What bothers me about Einstein is that people often quote the letters in which it really does sound like that God is only ethics. So he's often bringing up in the literature that I used to be a part of is record. No, but like he was much